Oh, this episode of A Dash of Reading is brought to you by A Dash Hooper and his friends Amber and Dana, and that is all I got to say. Because I got to find some new music so we don't get copyrighted or anything like that. But do
Uh-oh.
appreciate you if you guys are here to watch. And we'll be starting in 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
Are you
And
stealing
welcome
music?
back. I got to find some new music because we get copyrighted on
Oh,
YouTube now, so we got to find some new music.
You
But
gotta
welcome
find somebody
back.
to write you some music.
yes, surely you're a musician.
Yeah, that's a possibility that we're working on. But welcome back to Dash of Reading. We're going to be here today to talk to you about a book. But before we get into the book, welcome back, everybody.
Good to be back.
Glad to be back. It was a nice break.
Was it a nice break? Because she's been holding out for money. She told me backstage that she wants more money from us and that she will only be a contractor now unless she gets more money. So
If football players can do it, I can do it.
Right?
this is true. This is true. I mean, well, no. Now all you got to do is pretend like you signed with an NFL team and then go back to college, and you don't have to. You can get more money that way apparently. But this is not a football show. This is a reading show. How was your vacations?
It's good. It's busy. I went on
Uh,
3 road trips in 6 weeks. So
I liked I liked all the places you went, but there was one in particular that I was really, really fond of that you went to. You kind of got to go see the Hall of Fame induction of the Drew Brees, which was pretty cool.
That was amazing. And Eric and I made the Saints fan page. There was a Saints photographer taking a picture of everybody. So we were all decked out in Saints gear. So that was fun. And yeah, we got to see the enshrinement ceremony, which was amazing. And we cried. And we also toured the Pro Football Hall of Fame, which I highly recommend. It's a very, very interesting Hall of Fame. Whether you're super into football or not, if you are ever in Canton, Ohio, I highly recommend it.
Sure are a lot of Cowboys
do in
in
Canton,
there.
Ohio.
Well, what's funny, how Eric and I've talked before how Eric and I read through the biographies of the presidents. And Ohio, I think next to Virginia, it has the most presidents. I think right now Virginia is still holding as the top.
Virginia, Ohio.
I think Ohio. It was amazing. So we went to McKinley's.
Yeah.
And Harding's. And Harding's not in Canton. McKinley's in Canton because he's from there. But Harding is just a little bit out of town. Man, I liked that more than the football. But
That's awesome.
Well, I'm glad you had a good time. You got to spend some time on the road and enjoy the family, and that's cool. It was really cool to see you guys at Canton and see some of the pictures you guys posted. So appreciate that.
Nice.
Danny, you got all your school stuff done today?
Yep. Met all but 2 of the families, so we don't start this week, but next week we'll get started. So
are you teaching a class?
Teaching 2 classes and leading a high school book club.
Oh my gosh, that's exciting.
I'm not even choosing the books. I met all those kids today, and they said, well, what do we have to do before class? And I said, I want you to show up at the first class with a list of books you'd like to read. Perfect. And we're all going to pick one. We're going to come to a consensus on a book, and we're going to read it and come back and talk about it. That's all we're doing. They're not writing papers. I'm not giving grades.
Just you're going to enjoy the novel.
Yep. I'm not looking at their book journals. If they keep one, I don't care. We're just enjoying the book.
No annotation?
No annotation. Just read the doggone book and let's talk about it.
Oh, I think that will go a long way into retaining these kids as readers.
That's
just
what
to enjoy the novel.
Well, and I kept hearing from their parents that the kids aren't reading on their own. And I was like, that's awful. That's a travesty. They're homeschoolers. They should be reading all the time, right? And they are reading all the time, but they're reading for class and they're getting kind of burned out. And I was like, fix that. Let's do a book club and just read. We're just going to read. So
that'll be fun.
And then I'm teaching 2 classes, an elementary grammar class and a middle school civics, which is a ton of work, but it's going to be so cool.
Okay.
I'm really excited about it. Yeah, it's because
Yeah,
it's just
civics. I feel like civics hasn't been in school in a long time, so I'm hoping that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it needs to. And we're going to do a project. The whole second semester is going to be a group project. I'm going to split them into groups, and we're going to do a project specific to our county.
Oh, good.
Cool.
So something that the board of supervisors is tossing around, or so. And I've talked to one of my rep on the board, and he was a government teacher, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, you're reminding me why I loved teaching this stuff." And he gave me this many ideas in a Facebook post. He's like, "Y'all can talk about blah 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 blah."
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, so they'll put together, they'll have to identify problems, identify people who are affected by it, put together possible solutions. If it's good enough, we'll present them to the board and see what the board of supervisors, if they, want to do anything about it. And then they'll present their projects at the big co-op showcase at the end of the year. So
very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So, but it is a ton of work because I've never taught that class. So.
We start school tomorrow. We start school tomorrow as well. So we get our last night of free living, as they said. They free living as
spending it doing this.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean,
I think he likes this.
Yeah. It's not hard for me. Rumble, what are you doing?
Do you have a dog outside?
Yeah, I got a dog in the house who shouldn't be in the house.
Oh.
You guys talk. I'll be right back.
Lorena! No, just kidding.
I'm like, it's the girls' last night of freedom. They're bringing the dog in.
I know. Oh my gosh. Did you go anywhere fun this summer?
Well, back at the end of May, we went to the beach for a week, but I had Caleb's dog again all summer, so we had to go before the dog came, and she just went home this past week. So,
oh gosh, where did he go? Did he go back to Alaska or something?
Alaska, fly fish guide, yeah.
Man,
so they're now back in Texas. So, but it was a great week at the beach. I had a blast. It was like too windy to really go out and fishing and stuff. So Tim was a little bit like. But I sat and read books the whole week out down by the beach, on the beach, and I never got hot and sweaty because there was this massive breeze blowing the whole. It was fantastic. I had a great time. So
I read 3 books the week I was at the beach. Like, this is the best thing ever.
The best thing ever, yes.
Very nice. Well, yeah. That's what we're getting ready to school, and I know you guys were talking because I had to take all the dogs out.
Yeah, we're just chatting about reading at the beach.
I said it was your girls' last night of freedom, and they brought the dogs in. So I'm like, they get a pass.
one we are on. One of the dogs we are on watch. We don't know how much longer we got with Rumble. So.
Oh, so they wanted him inside. Oh, I understand.
Well, they're inside, just not.
Oh, where you are.
Right.
Okay. Gotcha.
Or Rumble. Yeah.
All right.
On that note.
Yes.
That was so sad. Well, yeah, we're back. We're back with a book today. We're going to be talking about Tom Hanks. Mr. Tom Hanks. He wrote a fiction book. This was back a few years ago, I think 2021. Ish, 2022-ish. 23-ish. We'll be talking about that. This one, we all, and now before we get into the recap with Amber, because this is Amber's book, this one is, based purely on his life. Well, that's the way I took it, but we'll break that down more. But, he spent a lot of time in Hollywood, so you can kind of tell some of the stuff that he has done in his life with this book. But with that being said, let us do.
So, the making of another major motion picture masterpiece. That's the title of this novel, and I always have to read it because I'll leave out a word or two. It is about a big, huge director named Bill who is looking for his next big project, and he lands on a comic book. He's going to remake this comic book into an action movie. And so the book goes into detail about I don't want to like it's like the chapters are or the sections development, hell, prep, casting, the shoot, post. He goes into all this detail about making a movie. But he also the novel also gives us the backstory, and so that's a section too. So the backstory is a little boy named Robbie who his uncle was in World War II, and when he was a flamethrower, I believe. And when his uncle came home, lots of PTSD and lots of trauma and problems there. Robbie grows up and writes a comic book in the 70s during the Vietnam War about his uncle, and a comic book that he had come across in the 40s. And so fast forward to director Bill, who buys a box of comic books, and this comic is in there, and he decides to make a movie. So it kind of weaves the backstory with modern day and Bill trying to make this movie. And that's really much it.
Pretty much it. Why do I have that go?
It's a lot. It's huge. It's a chunky monkey. It is over 400 pages, and the type is not big.
It is a chunky monkey, and it is about 400 pages too long. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
So let me ask.
Start off there.
Let me ask. This might be the first time you guys have actually read a comic book.
No, I skipped those pages.
And that's the end of the show, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming out to Tom Hanks,
Listen,
the making of another major motion picture.
At this point, it's me just being stubborn. I already know I don't like graphic novels or comic books. I'm like, I'm not doing it.
But it's vital. It's vital to some of the.
So I looked at the pages. I can see the pictures and get the story.
Did you read
and
them?
I don't feel like I missed anything. Huh?
I asked Dana if she read them or skipped them.
Did you read them?
I read them. I can't say that I read every single little bubble, but yes. And I don't dislike comics.
I can't wait for y'all to read the Ballad of Jesse Crow then, because you guys are going to skip some of the most vital parts because you find them boring. No, it's not.
Okay, because I also skip poetry and songs,
yes,
but I think in that book I'm gonna.
I think you're kind of vital.
You better not. Better not. No, I mean, I think the comics are. He said about two. Yeah, about 200. That I'll agree with.
Eric, do you remember me trying to read this in the book in the car? I think I took this on vacation and read it in the car.
This probably got you sick in the car with that small type.
I can read.
No, the small type really bugged me on this one. But no, I one thing I did like is that even the comic parts in here told part of the story that you had to have. I at least I feel like.
Yeah.
Because it gives you some backstory that you probably yes, I do. Did it bore you? No, I'm kidding. Did it bore you, Eric?
Actually, I don't want him to comment. He may give away some of how it went. So let's just get through it first.
Yeah, let's start it out. Let's just start with the things you did like then. Dana, what did you like about this story overall?
I didn't dislike the book. I actually liked it quite a bit. Now, here's a caveat. I listened to a lot of it, and Tom Hanks was the main reader and then brought in others. And I enjoyed listening to him read it. And so I was kind of like back and forth between the audio and the print. And I actually liked it. I thought it was kind of fun. I loved the bits at the end, listening to it, like the interviews with, different behind the scenes people and stuff towards the end of the book. Mm-hmm. That all sounded and felt to me like when you watch a DVD and it'll have like the optional interviews with the director and stuff like that. I love watching those things. I just sort of geek out on those things. And it felt like that to me. And so I really liked that part. Parts of it, just kind of dragged a little bit, but I actually liked all of the detail about kind of how the sausage is made. And so I didn't dislike the book. I thought it was kind of cool. So
you definitely get director's commentary, if you will. This is I feel like the end of the book was the director's cut of a movie, if you will. So that was, I appreciate some of those little things. What about you, Amber?
So I like Tom Hanks's writing. This is the second novel of his. Well, the first one wasn't even a novel. It was a book of short stories called Uncommon Type. And like I said, a book of random short stories, but what tied them together was a typewriter. So I thought it was really funny when the director uses only a typewriter, because Tom Hanks made such a big deal out of that in the short story. It makes me think that Tom Hanks himself writes on his types on his typewriter.
He does.
I like his writing. I loved the whole backstory part with Robbie as a kid. So his uncle comes back from World War II and is kind of meandering aimlessly, joins a biker gang, gets into some trouble, and he comes and he's there and he's spending time with Robbie, who's 5, 6, 7 at the time, and takes him to a drugstore, and that's where Robbie sees the comic book about the Marine and being a flamethrower, and his uncle was like, oh, I did that, and gave him ice cream and then leaves him at the drugstore, and Robbie never sees him again. I enjoyed all of that. I would have loved to have gotten just an entire novel of Robbie.
Yeah, it was great. That whole story was fantastic.
Yeah, I like the backstory a bit. I do like the World War II and then the going into the Vietnam stuff and then talking about it. I love the movie breakdown of some of the stuff, especially again kind of like what you said. I did enjoy a little bit of the ending there with the commentary, as far as each person breaking down their role and what the movie was. This is definitely, I don't know about you guys, this is definitely a love letter to the cast and crew, more, or I should say more the crew than really the cast. No, he says
that at the beginning. Did you read his? It says for all the actors in the cast and every member of the crew. That's the dedication.
Yeah, that's, I mean, so definitely a love letter and recognizing people that don't get recognized, probably.
Assistants.
Yeah. The gaffer and the best boy, whatever the hell, I will still never know what the best boy and gaffer does.
Gaffer is sound. I think that's the guy that holds the sound. That's all I got. I don't know what the best boy is.
But here's my problem, and then we'll go into your guys. I think there's way too many characters, though. I just think he introduced so many characters there at the end that I was just, who, what, who, where, and there's some transitions that I'm like, who the hell is he talking to, and who's talking now, and I get lost a little bit, and I think had he condensed it and left out a whole lot of the characters, for me this would have been a phenomenal 5-star book. I really do, because I like the behind the scenes and going in. And then my other problem, the C word was mentioned about 272 times. COVID was mentioned 272 times.
It was filmed during COVID.
I get it. But one time, we know that COVID's going on. You can say we filmed during COVID and left the other 239 times that COVID was mentioned out of it, because it feels like, to me, it felt like this was a one of those propaganda books in a way, where it's just, I'm telling you that COVID, and we got it. The whole entire world knows that COVID existed. We do. So that was my big issue with it. I really wish that was left out of it. And again, I'm not saying that COVID's not a big deal. I'm not saying, but I don't need it in a book that many times. I really don't.
This is how little I pay attention to COVID, because you said C word and I went to that nasty word that
I did too, and I was like, I don't remember that.
It's not in here. I swear.
When are you guys? When have I ever used harsh language on this?
He was saying it and I just missed it. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I was like, gosh, did I block that out that many times? I don't think I would have.
All right, Miss Amber, what did you dislike about the book?
Two main things stuck out to me as I was reading this. One, I do like his writing, and I understand the footnotes. I understand what he was doing with the footnotes. He kind of went into like the way things were in the 50s. So this whole novel does read like a documentary of sorts on the making of this movie. So we have the footnotes and like in the 50s, this happened, XYZ or whatever. I hate footnotes. I hate footnotes in nonfiction. If it is that important to go on the page, it needs to go in the paragraph where I can read it constantly, because I see these asterisks and I'm like, well, now what? And I have to go down here and read this, and it irritates the piss out of me. And it is a hill I will die on.
And you guys thought I had a harsh mouth. Harsh mouth.
I apologize for anybody if that was harsh language, but that's how hot I get, because you just, one thing that I love about reading, and I've been a reader forever, you guys know, is I get immersed. Yeah. Like there have been times where Eric's trying to talk to me and I come out of a book and he can tell like I'm all foggy because I was like in the book and I'm having to like readjust. And when you put an asterisk and make me look at the bottom of the page, I lose it. Okay. So that's the big thing. The second thing is, hello.
Hey there.
Is a little caveat. I was a theater kid from like 6th through 12th grade. When in the summer of 6th grade, my mom put me in theater camp so I'd get out of her hair, and I stayed with it and I loved it. Loved it. But I wanted to act on Broadway. Like I just loved the stage. I never wanted to be an actress in Hollywood. However, I've always been fascinated with how movies are made. And I was always like, if I make it to Hollywood, I don't think I'll be an actress. I think I would love to be in production. Not after reading this novel. I don't care. I did not care about any of that. I did not care about any of the movie making. It was very uninteresting to me.
Wow.
I think I would be in I think I would be in I would like to be like a producer and directing after reading this book. I feel like I could do that. I thought I really enjoyed that part. I knew when the first question I asked when I said what did you hate, I knew the footnotes was going to come up. I knew it would.
I've probably yelled about it before.
We've yelled about it in every nonfiction book we've ever read, and I love it. But I knew, for me, I didn't mind it because I guess because I've written so many papers now, and I had to put my footnotes in there. Mm-hmm. So I can understand that. Yes, it can get distracting though, especially when you're immersed in a fiction and it does feel out of place. But I'm sitting there going, if I don't read these, I feel like I'm going to miss something in the book. So I'm glad I did. I'm glad, but I understand. You're right. I think he was going for the documentary. Mm-hmm. This is a fiction, but this is a documentary. So I did appreciate that. Anything you dislike, Miss Dana?
Yeah, I'll get to that in a second, but just to also go back to the footnote thing, when you're listening to the audio, the tone changes just a little bit so that you know, oh, he's probably reading a footnote.
Wow.
But it doesn't pull you out like I think it does when you're reading the print on the page.
Listen to it.
Isn't that interesting? Because I'm sitting here thinking, because I agree with you, like I hate being, my flow being disrupted too, but it didn't bother me. I was thinking, it didn't bother me in the audio because it became just part of the paragraph.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't wait till the bottom of the page. He immediately skipped down, read so it just became part of the information on the page.
So yeah, if he would have done parentheses or like an aside in the flow, it wouldn't have bothered, because some of the stuff was interesting when he was down there. So I should have listened to it.
So anyway, I just never thought about that before, that in an audio book it becomes just part of the flow. You don't get pulled out of it. So what did I dislike? I don't think there was anything I had like a huge dislike about, but there were parts of some of the production descriptions I was like, okay, I've had enough. Like I have had enough detail about that, and I'm ready to get back to some of the narrative. So some of those parts just got a little long and dragged. I thought it was interesting, but maybe too much at times. I could have done with less detail, I guess. But in general, I liked it a lot. So, and I loved the bits about the assistants, the problem solvers, who were just like, say that again?
Was her name Mac Tier or something?
Yes.
The Mac. She spelled it. He phonetically spelled it, or however he he spelled it was
Right.
yeah.
Sorry to interrupt.
That
No, you're
whole bit, I was like, every time that showed up on the page, I was fascinated. I was like, so what are these people doing? Everything. They're doing everything.
But
if
that's where
there's
the
a problem, they're
transitions
solving it.
got me. That's where the transitions got me because we're talking about something else, and then here comes Mac Tier, and I'm like, what? Why? I felt like this is it's a small thing probably. I feel like he probably could have had more of the transition asterisks to help me a little bit, and I think that through the pace, and I think those threw the pacing off for me because I had to go back quite a few times and see where I missed the transition.
I see. Yeah.
So
yeah,
and the pacing at times was like, oh my gosh, Tom, just pick it up. Pick it up. And I don't dislike his writing. I'm with you. I like his writing style. But I think I think it could have just went a little bit faster, and I'm gonna be like I am kind of gonna piggyback off Eric, Griffin. I'm gonna piggyback off Eric and say again, I think that it was about 200 pages too long, maybe, or I think he could have cut 100 out. I think we could have been in that 350-ish range, 320, 330. And
according to you, if he would have stopped talking about COVID, it probably will. It should.
Yeah, I mean, if he would have started talking about COVID, we probably would have lost 100 pages. Hello, Kevin. Thank you for coming in.
This is dashing. Are you like making fun of us, or
no? He calls everything I do dashing.
Yeah, and I wonder, because we're far enough removed from COVID now that it's sort of like a distant memory, and I find myself in danger of forgetting how disruptive it was sometimes. Yeah. But 2023, they were still.
Had we read
this? We probably wrote this in 2022, which it was still very much locked down or whatever.
Right, and it was hugely disruptive to the entertainment industry, right? Like, I mean,
it's changed the whole trajectory of movies today.
Yeah, so I'm sure that's why it's in there. So he probably couldn't have imagined writing it without that.
I totally get that, and again, had we read this as a new release, I don't think any of us would have.
Yeah.
But he said, "No, ma'am, I'm not making fun of you."
Oh, okay. I don't know, Kevin. I have to ask him. I'm a sensitive soul.
Let me ask you this, because I think he said, well, we know what was going on during COVID. This is a fictional book about real stuff. Mm-hmm. What do you think the movie was? Do you think this is a real movie that was going on at the time, or do you think it's just he's using the time frame of when he wrote it and just making up a big budget? Because I'm not necessarily even saying it's a superhero movie, even though that's the background of what this is. Do you think there is though a movie that he might have based this on that he was part of?
No, but I think when you want to make a motion picture, a big budget motion picture, my mind automatically goes to superhero or action type, but maybe that was the easiest one to talk about without making it a war, without making it like a Saving Private Ryan, because they didn't do that. That's what the comic book was about, was a soldier in Vietnam when Robbie wrote it in the 70s. Has he been
involved in like a big superhero movie?
No, but I don't. Again, I think he just used a superhero movie as the backdrop in the book. Personally, I felt like this was him and Steven Spielberg going through Band of Brothers for some reason. I don't know why I got that. I'm probably way off. I'm not saying, but I just felt like some of the production stuff and some of the, because there was a guy, he even used one of the guy's names from the real life Band of Brothers. The Garnier the name Garnier was used. And I just was sitting there going, I wonder if this was some of the stuff that they were going through with Band of Brothers. And again, it's all up to interpretation and speculation, but that's what I felt like. I think
it's all of his many, many years
experience
in the industry for sure. And I think that, he dedicated this to the cast and the crew, but I bought it brand new and I got a bookmark called Hank's. I guess he has a coffee company called Hank's. And they give 100% of the net profits to organizations that provide critical resources and support for veterans and their families.
Wow.
So I did not realize he was a big supporter of veterans. I'm guessing that came from Saving Private Ryan.
Well,
so I think it's also just maybe that's why it's more of a military action thing turned into superheroes, because he thinks they're superheroes. Maybe, but I think it's just more like I don't know. You know more about movies than I do, Dash. I felt like it was just more like these are my gazillion years of experience on how to make a movie.
No, I just because some of the people, again, like you said, he dedicates it, and I'm because I'm sitting there going on, I'm reading some of these names, and I just feel like it's just something. It is 40, like I said at the beginning, it's 40 years of his life spent in Hollywood and movie making and I just wonder if some of these people were not just people along the way that he's worked with, and he's putting everybody he's kind of worked with into a fictional movie to thank them for the things that some McTeer could have been somebody from Saving Private Ryan for all I know, but I just felt like and I guess probably the war comics really gave me the Saving Private Ryan and the Band of Brothers vibes as well. And I thought it was really cool that was how he started out the book.
This says that, I guess he did an interview or something. He wanted to show that making a film is a massive team effort. Oh, yeah. And I think he succeeded in that because like Dana said, you hear from the gaffers and the assistants and Dash
middle management,
all those people. But I kind of like that. I've always liked Tom Hanks, and I love that he is that's what he wanted to talk about when he talks about movie is look at everybody, like from the backstory, from the kid whose uncle left him in a drugstore and wrote the source material. Like he went all the way back to Robbie's parents getting married. So I do love how inclusive it was of everybody.
And one of the scenes I absolutely loved, and it was a small one, but the McTeer, she comes on the set. I'm trying to remember exactly what was going on, but she walks into that room, and the hoity-toity assistant guy who thinks he's everything, he basically, wants to know, he's ordering around and telling her what to do, and then you come to find out he's like nobody on the totem pole, and he gets taken down a few notches. And because he just assumed that she was nobody, and he's, throwing his weight around. And so I just loved that Tom Hanks included that to say, you better treat people nicely. You don't know who you're talking to here. And this might be the person who helps you, make it to the next step or something. Yeah. And
I feel like McTeer was like second. Like there was only one person above from reading and her and her persona and everything. I feel like she was number 2 in the whole production. So
she's like the deputy, isn't that right, Eric Emery? He should be a deputy.
I missed something, I guess.
Oh, that's his title. He's deputy. He's a deputy director. Oh, he's second in charge.
McTeer and Bobby or Robbie and Bob. I feel like those were the most fleshed out. I lost some of the characters though. Unfortunately, I did.
I don't think you can have this many characters in a novel and every single one of them be deep. So I totally understand that. I got to a point where I read so fast, I don't know what was happening.
And I wasn't trying to hold on to like every character that came across the page because I felt like he was just giving the impression that, or trying to impress upon you just how many people are involved.
There are.
And that, and it's okay if you don't like fall in love with every character. You're not meant to. It's just like, here's yet another role. Here's another role. Here's another one. Here's another person who's involved. And then this person does this. And so I don't know that we were even supposed to get, deeply connected to most of the characters.
Well, dang it. I wanted to, please.
No, and that's fine. We're not discounting you.
No, I kid.
when
No, I just
and it was a lot. Yeah.
Now you bring up a good point, and I probably didn't look at it that way. That there are so many people in the organ, or just that are behind the scenes
process
that we don't even the process. So that's a very good point. I like that, and I think that makes more sense, because I just felt like at first when I was reading, I'm like, is he just trying to give us a bunch of people here at the end to make us care? No, that makes sense. Like I mean, now I can see. I mean, I'm not saying I can see his brain, but I can feel like I know where he's writing from now. That there's just, you're going to be walking through the production one day, and there's just going to be some dude that you didn't see the day before carrying a coffee,
and you might not ever see again.
Yeah, you might.
Well, it's very based on this novel. Movie making is very choreographed, because everybody has to do their part in order for the next part to like work, and from like gathering source material to writing the script to the casting agents to scout locations. Every post-production and sound and who's going to do the score. It's just so much. And that's why it takes forever for movies to come out. And then you end up being like Tom Holland and Zendaya, who happened to be in 3 movies at the same time, but they didn't film them at the same time. They filmed them, all these months apart. They just finally all being released at the same time.
Right. And then you throw in, some actor who thinks he's, supposed to rewrite the film while he's acting, and now you're 3 days behind in production.
Yeah.
I mean, it just, so for me, it just really gave a real sense of all of the challenges of that.
Yeah.
And the other thing I wanted to say about all the characters, it was almost like if you've ever actually sat and watched all the credits that roll.
Oh yeah.
Holy cow, they go on, and it's like the first assistant to the second assistant to the, blah, blah, blah. And so that, it kind of gave me that sense too, when he's throwing in all these characters. It was almost like watching the credits roll at the end.
That's an excellent point.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. You know who else I really liked, though, was the actress, the lead actress. What is her name? I liked how she tried to get the job. I like how she advocated for herself, how she went into a conversation with him. And I just really liked her demeanor through the whole thing.
She was wonderful. Yeah. Yeah.
I think it was Ren Lane. Ren Lane. God, I had to go look at my notes real quick. Ren Lane. She's Nightshade, or Nightshade.
She's the main,
main character. She was cool. She was good, but at times
they even put her comic at the end.
Yes.
She felt kind of flaky at times, but I mean, I think she was a good character. But again, I think McTeer was a lot fleshed out. Robbie was obviously fleshed out because he's the.
You can scan it and read the screenplay. I have no desire.
Oh my goodness!
If you want to do that, it's in the back of your book. That's kind of cool.
That's
so maybe
cool.
It will be a movie. It was only out 3 years ago.
Yeah.
It would be. Well, I mean, they're not going to make Nightshade, but they'll make the making of Nightshade or something. It could be
maybe they'll make this into
the mockumentary. Yeah, I'd like to see a mockumentary of this.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I feel like the book is a mockumentary, so you do the movie as a mockumentary with the characters and behind the scenes. I think you could definitely pull that off.
Yeah.
Did you ever picture who even Ren was, or who Al was? It's like sometimes when I'm reading books, I'll picture who if this was a movie, and
who would you cast?
Yeah.
I'm bad at this game.
Are you?
So I'm always
really bad.
I'm always the main girl.
Are you the main girl?
Yeah, and this one I was McTeer. It's always me. Is that narcissistic?
Well,
I don't know. Is that
probably a little bit?
I don't know what that says. It says that I missed my calling and I should be an actress.
You're definitely McTeer, though, especially when it comes to this show. You are McTeer.
But no, as far as like imagining like they're actors or something, I don't do that.
I did. I got, for some reason, and y'all can slap me if you want, I got Gary Sinise, probably because he's worked with Gary so much.
For who?
For
Bill?
Yes.
The director?
Yes. Yes. I felt like I just it's wild, and it's probably because again, him and Gary have done so many projects together
That's another actor who loves veterans.
Yeah, so I just feel like that was who it was, and then the Ren was you probably Florence Pugh, just because I felt like
yes. As soon as I didn't imagine that,
hey,
but as soon as you opened your mouth, I was like Florence Pugh. Oh,
yeah. Hey, Dustin.
So cool.
Yeah, it's just she's she's the superhero lady right now.
And she's a good actress. I think
she's good is subjective.
I like her. I think she's talented.
But yeah, I just something about her characteristics. I don't know who Al is though, because there's so many. Like I feel like it could be. It could be Amber. Al could be Amber. Al McTeer could be Amber all the way.
I am Al in my own home, but
no,
that way.
Like I can feel like it's a Julia Roberts or a Jodie Foster type. Like they carry. Though. Well, I don't know. Did you get Al being young though?
Well, because he took her. I think she's probably in her 30s, but she was working at a hotel or something. I don't know.
Right.
Maybe you're right.
Yeah.
It's hard to imagine.
Can you imagine the stress of that job?
Working in a hotel?
No,
I wouldn't want to work at a hotel or be. Position. Yeah, I don't know if I would want Al's job or working as the problem solver and or as the hotel. I don't think I'd want either job.
I do not want a job where somebody can get a hold of me for something any time of the day. No. Alyssa Page has that kind of job. Colton has that kind of job. No.
Maybe Sandra. Nope. Yeah, Sandra could pull off the problem solver. She was mean and
you're not thinking about age. Yeah.
She was mean in the proposal, so I can give her
to the window. To the
She wasn't Al wasn't mean. I don't think Al was mean as much as she was just no nonsense. I don't think
I
don't think BS. For niceties, right? Like
right, yeah. She was just straight to the point. Straight to the point. No BS. Don't BS me. I won't BS you. And we'll get it done.
I love how he goes into detail when Bill and Al are having a conversation. It's like no fluff. No fluff. They don't even say goodbye or something. It's just like this. She gets off the phone and she goes and does it. I am not that kind of person.
There's no bye. There's no, okay, talk to you later. There's no, these two, they have a very, so that makes me wonder, again, do they like each other even at one bit?
I think so.
I think they respect each other. I think they respect each other. But I had to question myself a couple times. Do they like each other?
They don't have time for that. That's how I got it. They don't have time for friendships. But their level of respect was absolutely
they had that top respect for each other. So I appreciated because again, I think obviously
he's married.
Well, what I mean by I don't mean like romantic.
No, I know what you meant.
Yeah.
But are they? Were they even friends? Is this? Because I feel like you might have to have some kind of friendship to get a movie done, because we've seen at least I've seen some behind the scenes where films have imploded because actors don't get along or the directors and stuff. So I felt like they might not have been best friends, but they had such a good mutual respect working wise that these that's why I say these were real people. That's why I felt like they were very fleshed out and very real.
They never talked about personal stuff, did they? Bill and Al. Never ever see them talking about personal stuff.
Just all business.
I think they were all business, and I think that was
because when they were together, there was a job to get done, and the pressures were enormous, and there just wasn't time for that. So
they got it done, though. I mean, kudos to the fictional. Now, is this real? Did these real people get it done for real?
Again,
again, I want to know. I guess I'm just so curious as. It may not even be a real movie. that's stuck in my craw for some reason. Is this a real movie that it's based on? Because It just feels real. You know what I mean?
That's just a compilation of
exactly. That's the word that was in my head too, Amber. Just a compilation of his experiences.
That's a compliment to his writing, because I'm sitting there going, this is real, because he wrote these characters so good. So I think, Tom, if you're listening, which I know you are, this was a compliment to your writing.
I do like Bill's wife, Patricia, and how hilarious it was that she already shared the last name Johnson, so she didn't have to worry about changing her name. That was hilarious. And also, he asked her to be in the movie, or there was a part or something, and she was like, "No, I love that about her."
He's like, no, I'm not going to be in your movie.
Taking my camper and going to do my thing, thanks.
Yeah.
She wanted to spend all this money anyways. No, I'm kidding.
She had a career. I mean, she had her own stuff going on. Yeah. And then in post, she talks about how finally she gets her husband back. Like, you know, it's over because he's on vacation.
I think we take some of this, you know, I'm hard on my movies because I want them to be the way that I want them, you know, and I think everybody's like that. But I think we take for granted, we really do, the behind the scenes of what these, you know, what some of these people are probably. I would have never guessed that they were away from their families for so long, but they really are. And
there's a dual acting couple, and I cannot remember which one it is, but they made a rule that only one of them do a movie at a time because they're gone, so that one is always home with the kids. Like they're not both going to be off. Once they started having kids, it had to rotate. I
feel like that's Goldie and Kurt Russell.
Maybe I feel like it was young. Like it's been more recent. I want to say Ryan Reynolds and What's Her Butt, but maybe it's a younger couple.
What's Her Butt? That's a good name for her though.
Blake Lively.
That's a good name for her.
Or maybe it was. Maybe, you know, and a lot of times you'll see the wife, if she's an actress, step back, and I think that's her choice. I think she's just like, no, I want to step back with the kids, and you can kind of see why in this movie is they're never home, and if they're home,
you know a couple that's just brand new married that won't do that.
Zendaya and Tom Holland,
right? Because literally Zendaya. I mean, in the year 2028, when you look at a movie, all 500 movies that come out that year will have Zendaya.
Well, Tom Holland has actually on record in an interview said, when he becomes a dad, he goes, you will not find me in movies. Yeah. Now, it may at the time have been tongue in cheek. He said, I'm just going to play his golf and raise my kids. So I think he is like willing to step back and let him act. And he doesn't want that lifestyle while he's a dad.
I saw something when they were promoting, I think it was Italy.
Which one? They've been in a lot of things.
No, they were promoting Spider-Man in Italy. And he was with a young, I can totally see him stepping back because he was with one of these kids, and like it was all about the kid. It wasn't about.
He said, "I'm gonna play golf and spend time with my kids."
I totally could see him doing that. But no, Zendaya and Pedro Pascal will be in every movie in 2028. Every movie will have Zendaya and Pedro Pascal in it.
Is he in a lot of movies?
Pedro is in every movie. My goodness.
He's not in movies I'm watching, so I don't know.
Oh, God, Fantastic Four.
Oh yeah, I'm not watching him.
Star Wars. He's on every show on TV. It's getting old. No, I mean, I don't even know if I have a favorite new actor right now.
They're all babies. Like, I'm so old.
It is, and it probably isn't. I like Austin Butler.
Was he in Elvis? Did he play Elvis?
Yeah, he was Elvis. He's in Dune. I'm all right with Timothy Chalamet, whatever, Chalamet. I'm all right with him, but he's too skinny to be the. Do
not body shame.
He's too skinny to be that superhero guy. Come on.
I like him in Dune. That's all I got.
But yeah, I mean, he's fine as Paul Atreides, but Paul Atreides, if I remember right in the book, was still kind of stout and muscular himself.
Oh. So. Yes, welcome to the tangents if you're new here.
Yes, and well, Nick Cage can carry any movie, and I'll be happy. I love Nick Cage, so I don't care if he's in every movie. He's got to pay for. He's got to pay for all those.
What Dash wants.
He's got to pay for all those back taxes he missed out on. So he's got to be in every surgery. He's got to be in every movie. No, I don't know. There's just like we were talking about that. Yeah, we're on a tangent. I feel like Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt are the last remaining true motion picture stars. You have actors now. Like you have actors, but true motion picture actors.
You don't think Matt Damon falls in that?
I don't. There's.
I mean, he's younger than they are, but
yeah, he's younger than they are. So maybe once they're gone, he might take him, and maybe Ben Affleck might take the reins.
Yeah. Well, I don't want Ben Affleck in a superhero movie.
Oh, I love Ben Affleck. I will die on that hill. Yeah, I will die on that hill. He's the best. He's the best Batman, and I will die on that hill. But but like you don't like you have actors. Like I feel like you have actors, and they're good. I'm not saying they're not, but because Lorraine and I were talking about this, how many times when we were young and whatnot, we'd say we want to go see a Sylvester Stallone movie, or we want to go see a Harrison Ford movie, or we want to go see a Tom Cruise movie. Nowadays, you just go. We don't say that. We don't say I'm going to go see the Zendaya movie. I want to go see the Chalamet movie. You said it. I want to go see Dune. So we're wanting to go.
I never said I'm going to go see an actor in a movie.
Well, maybe that's just you, and you're a nerd and
I'm Eric Emery. If you're listening, you sign on. Did you chime in? Did you used to say
like I feel like I want to go see that new or I want to go see that new Sylvester Stallone movie.
Maybe.
I feel like we said that a lot. And nowadays I feel like we just say the movie's title. We don't go I'm not going to go see a specific actor.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not saying they're not great actors. Don't hold that on me, because I do appreciate certain roles that I may love. We did see the grandson, and we did see your grandson, Little Pops. We did see him earlier, Pops. So
Mini Pops or something.
Mini Pops. Yeah. We did see him.
You know what I do though is I'm like, I want to go see Verity, and I'm like, I want to go see Verity. I like Anne Hathaway, so I will notice like, that movie has Anne Hathaway in it, so I'm gonna go see that. So I kind of understand what you're saying, but
kind of see what I'm. But we're not going to go. You're not necessarily going to see Anne Hathaway now. You're probably she's in it, but you may go you're wanting to see. Because I don't know, that's just me. And again, I'm not saying that's everybody, and I'm holding everybody to that. But you say the name for the most part too.
There's not. I know what you're saying though. There's not like actors like there used to be. I 100% agree that movies have changed tremendously.
I think, and that's right there. What I'm getting at. Is I'm going to go see because of the story, and I think sometimes. And I know we got off on a huge tangent, but I mean,
it's about making movies, so we're just adjacent.
But that's right. We would say, I want to go see Tom Hanks in Forrest Gump.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, I want to go see Forrest Gump. I want to go see Tom Hanks in Forrest Gump.
I'll give you that.
And so I feel like we've lost. There's good actors. I just don't think we have major motion picture stars. We don't have movie stars anymore. Other than, like I said, you got. I think you can lump, because we're getting ready to get Sandra Bullock and what's her name, Nicole Kidman. We're going to get them back in Practical Magic. I think you can probably say that they're movie stars.
Eric, if you're listening, there's kids in our yard. I don't know who they are.
Get off my lawn.
Get off my lawn. So I think and Hollywood has changed.
They're by my car.
Hollywood has changed.
Do you think it's because they're like back in the day, we could only our only option for seeing these people was on the big screen.
I mean, that very well could be.
And now you can see them on Netflix or on Amazon Prime, wherever. They're all over the place. You don't could be a major motion picture to see these actors.
I think that has to. And I was thinking in my brain, I wonder if social media has kind of desensitized us to seeing celebrities.
Like we feel like we know them. There's not a lot of mystique about them,
I think you bring up excellent points. So I do think social media and streaming do have a big play. And do you need to go whoop some butts?
No, I actually think they're playing. They're like they're young teenagers, and now that I'm watching them, because now they're by the neighbor's car, I think they're playing hide and go seek, which is kind of cool if they're out there doing that. Because my driveway is I have a very long driveway, so if they're up by my car, you can't see them from the street. There they go again.
And see, nowadays we're getting movie stars in TV shows and TV actors, and vice versa. So yeah, that probably plays a pretty good. I mean,
because you never would have seen one of those. Like you would never have seen Tom Hanks on, some made-for-TV movie.
Right.
Yeah, you would. And when he first started, you would.
Well,
he was in
Mazes. Not after he became big, right?
Yeah. He was in Mazes and Monsters, and then he went and did Bosom Buddies, or he did Family Ties and Bosom Buddies, and then after Bosom Buddies is when he really took off with Bachelor Party and all his movies. So but back then, no, we wouldn't see the mixture of you had television actors,
TV, movies.
Movie. Yeah, you
have TV, movies, YouTubers.
Right.
TV, movie, YouTubers, TikTokers.
And then you have YouTubers who are making some of the better movies than some of the bigger.
And they're making good money doing it.
Yeah.
Yes, I don't know. Maybe that has to do with why it's just,
Obsession was a fantastic movie.
So it's like, whatever.
Iron Lung, Obsession, Backrooms, all made by YouTubers, all did wonderful, And
I think that is actually really cool. And just like with indie creators in your world, because these people who would never make it to Hollywood or whatever now have a platform and they have fantastic ideas. Just, the guys in the back room in Burbank are not going to listen to them, but now they can put their stuff out there. And so I do think that's great in a way, but I do think we are very desensitized to celebrities.
And I think that, to a certain extent, I think we're desensitized. I think we still put a lot of worship into them more than we should.
No, I don't.
No, I don't necessarily mean. I'm trying not to say worship in a bad way. I think we, because we do. I think that's just human nature. We hold them to a certain. We hold them on a certain level, and then when something bad happens, we forget that they're human.
Yeah, and we cancel them.
And some rightly so are. I hate the word canceled. Some rightly so. We don't forgive.
Depending, yeah. Like everybody has that line in the sand where if a celebrity crosses it, there have been celebrities that I no longer pay attention to because they crossed my line in the sand. And so, but I don't get on. The difference is I don't get online and make a huge post about why you too should cancel this person.
Oh, and I will never cancel anybody in real life, except for.
And by canceling them, I don't pay attention to them on social media, and I don't watch anything they're in. Like that's what it is.
We're having a discussion about Ryan Reynolds right now. I mean, I'm not going to not watch a movie of his, but I do find that some of the stuff that, and you know what I'm talking about, as of recent, has soured him as a person.
His wife, with Blake, the whole Blake Lively thing.
Yeah, it soured me to him. But I was never a big fan of his in the beginning. Anyways, I just never was a Ryan Reynolds fan. I'm not taking that away from anybody. I'm not a huge fan of Hugh Jackman, but my favorite movie of all time stars Hugh Jackman, and that's The Greatest Showman. I just think, and I'm sitting there picking on Zendaya.
That's your favorite movie of all time?
You little sensitive guy.
Yeah, I absolutely love the story of P.T. Barnum, and I love the
and Zendaya is in that one.
Yeah, and and I'm not a huge Zach, but I think everybody played their part perfectly in that movie, and that's why it's my favorite movie of all time. And my second favorite movie of all time is Count of Monte Cristo. So, I love that it's all genre. That is a book and a movie that has every genre.
I haven't read it yet.
Stacked into it. You might want to watch it because the book is like 4,000 pages long.
I think the vintage reader book club that Dana and I are in, where we do read 1,000-page. We take like 3 or 4 months to read a novel. I think we might be reading that one next year. I think
it's on the list. I think.
I just think Dumas was masterful in writing.
I like Dumas. And the only thing I've ever read by him was The Black Tulip, and I think it's and it's short. So if you never read The Black Tulip, I thought it was fantastic.
Oh, Dumas! I don't think Dumas has ever written a bad book.
Yeah,
and you got the Three Musketeers. You got you got so many. What do you mean? Which one, Dustin? I'm sorry. Which one? Which one are you talking about? I got lost. So back to Tom Hanks. Now that we're off our tangent.
Well, I love Tom Hanks, and I'm glad he has never made me think about canceling him.
And here's the other thing about Tom Hanks. So just finally, I remember this. Remember, he was in quarantine in that hospital room for weeks. Do you remember that?
No.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, because he got COVID, and I forget what hospital. Count of Monte Cristo. Oh,
Jim Caviezel. The Jim Caviezel Count of Monte Cristo. That's my favorite one. The one with Henry. It's got Henry Cavill, Guy Pearce.
I like all those boys.
Jim Caviezel. Man, it is so good. If you guys get a chance to watch it, watch that one.
When did Hanks have COVID? Like I don't.
It was during. It was
early.
The big deal, and
it was 20 or 21.
The nurses sent in a ball, and they wrote it was Wilson, and they sent it into him.
What an opportunity they had! That's amazing.
So that might be. Sorry, I don't know why. This just occurred to me. I'm like, you're talking about COVID. Well, it was a huge. He spent like weeks, I think, in quarantine.
I see why it's a big deal.
I wonder if he started thinking about making movies and how he missed it. And
I wonder.
Yeah, maybe that's.
Well, there's. I found the PBS interview they did with him on this, and I'll share the link with you guys later, because I don't think I can pull up the link. Maybe I can if I can find it. It's in my notes that I have I'll send it to you when I find the link. Okay. The PBS link. It's really good. And because Ed's now got me doing, like, when we're doing our big dives, and now Ed's got me listening to the all these documentaries and the NPR bands and everything. So now every time we watch a movie or read a book or watch a movie, I look to see if there's a segment done on it to kind of get some more background. So
he was in Australia when that happened, working on a movie shoot, and he was in hospital quarantine for 2 weeks, and then moved to self-quarantine at a rented home in Australia.
Wow.
So
I bet he started writing back then.
Yeah.
Well, he wrote didn't he write the short stories before? He wrote the short stories. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So he's been writing for a while.
Yeah.
I wonder if he's got anything.
The idea of this.
I tried to see if he had anything else in the works, and I couldn't find anything that was in progress. So I don't know if he's writing again or not. But yes, he does write by typewriter. Just so you guys know.
Yep. Here's a picture. Let's see how much.
Type was 2017. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, he posted, a thing from his quarantine, and it's a picture of his typewriter.
Yeah, I do know him, and I mean, I think even there's still people that use typewriter that still like the typewriter. I don't know if I could do it. Because I do make quite. I mean, even when I can still type pretty fast, but I still make a lot of mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I mean, I guess you got to be like, Misery and never, and write on a typewriter. Anyways, Amber, Dana, what do you give your final ranking on this?
It's somewhere between 3.5 and 4 stars. I really liked it a lot.
Miss Amber, what is your final ranking?
So I think if you are a person who is super interested in movie making and loves the detail, you would enjoy this novel, but it's just not for me. I gave it 2 stars.
I know what for some reason it gave me a 1 on my thing, and I didn't do that. I tried not to give it a ranking until we were done with this.
I saw you rated it, and I'm like, he normally doesn't rate his books right away.
Right, I thought that too. Yeah.
No, I don't do that. So I'm going to give it 3.5. I think. Again, there's things I like, there's things I dislike, but overall, I'm right there with you on it, Amber. If you're a movie buff and you're into the movie making, I think this is the book for you. 3.5 is really good.
That's an excellent rating.
But like I said, had it come down from a 400-page book to a 200-page or 300-page book, I probably would have given it a 5-star. I thought it was. We are reading The Making of Another Major Motion Picture Masterpiece by Tom Hanks, Dustin. This is the book right here.
You know, it's interesting, Dash, you talk about how long this novel is. And listen, my newest reading obsession is British women authors from like the 30s to the 70s. And I've just found a company that's just republishing a lot of those. There's mysteries and just regular kind of like domestic quiet novels. I swear not any of them are over 250 pages, and I love it. So if you're my friend on Goodreads and it looks like I'm just whipping through books, dude, they're like 250 pages and they're not hard to read. So, but I know. So then I picked this one up and I'm like, it's so big.
I usually don't have a problem with the page numbers, but I think it was that pacing right there that as you're getting towards the end, where and that's where my pacing was like, okay, this is getting, and then the transitions. Maybe had he done that, like I said, had he done the transition asterisks or given me a little bit more space in between each thing, I don't think that pacing would have hurt me as much, and the page numbers wouldn't have bothered me as much.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Oh, sleepy
so, now that I have you both here, when do you have time to review Hell Comes to Texas, Hand of the Devil?
I don't know.
Do you have next Sunday open?
That's Labor Day.
So.
Yeah, I don't think we're going out of town. I'm done traveling. So yeah, I think I could do any Sunday in September. So whatever is good for Dana.
All right.
And you.
I can do next Sunday if you want.
We'll do next Sunday for Hell Comes to Texas.
I've read a lot of books. Let me get it back in my brain. Yeah, I'll get it back in my brain. I'll skim it.
You guys actually gave me really good ratings on it, so I was very happy.
I know. Now you want us to tell the world.
And I thanked both of you on Goodreads.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, so I'll talk about it. I just, I read in my brain and it goes out, and so I have to skim it to put it back in my brain.
But ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, I got 3.5 stars from them. If you don't think that is a good rating, that made me feel really good, because I got a 3-star on the first one, so they bumped it up a half star, and that made me feel really good. So,
okay, details are coming back. Okay, yes, okay.
So we'll talk about that next.
Terrible.
But at the end of next month, we are doing Legends of the Fall.
Yes, Legends of the Fall.
Hey, is it a novella or is it a novel?
It's a collection of 4 novellas, I think.
4 novellas.
Okay.
But they all involve,
which I didn't know.
But they're all involving the same character.
That same family.
Do we are we reading all 4? So if I get it, it'll be a bind up.
So it's published as one book.
Okay.
Yeah, it's published as one, and you have. But the movie, I think, is based off just. No, I think the movie is based off the entire. All 4 of them.
So from what I read,
that's
the case.
Yeah, the movie is fantastic. If you haven't watched the movie, go watch it. Legends of the Fall. That's probably my favorite Brad Pitt movie.
I remember loving it when it first came out. And when Eric and I rewatched it, I didn't like it as much. It's still a good movie, and I'm looking forward to reading the book because I'm sure I'll love it better. But I didn't like it as much as I did when I was in my 20s and I saw it for the first time. And I think maybe it was because Brad Pitt hit me different in the 20s than he does now. I don't know.
If you were there, I'm sure you weren't watching it for Sir Anthony Hopkins and his one curled up eye like this.
Have you seen the movie, Dana? Are you familiar?
Yes. Yeah, I love the movie.
Yeah.
And so I put the book on my TBR, and it's been there forever. And this is the year I'm trying to get old books off my TBR.
Yeah.
So
I hear
you and me both.
Yes.
We'll ask your question, Amber.
What are you currently reading, Dash, for funsies?
For funsies right now, I am reading Tom McClavin's. If you don't know him, we've read a few of his. He's a nonfiction, but he writes Old West, a lot of the Old West and outlaw stuff. And I'm currently reading about the Dalton Gang. And why, you may ask? Oh, thank you for asking why. There is a person in there named Ruth Hooper that I'm trying to find. She's married to Bob Dalton, and now I'm trying to find out if we are related. If I'm related to somehow somewhere down the road to the Dalton gang,
Very cool.
which
That's
is
cool.
The Dalton gang. If you go out about a couple of miles this way out of my front door, you will run into the prison that held the Dalton gang here in Guthrie.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
A lot of history
So,
in Guthrie, Oklahoma.
there's you just going through that book. I'm sitting there. I probably walked. I have literally probably walked where these guys have ridden, or walked the same
Very
steps that
cool.
the Dalton
That's
gang
nice.
has. So that's what I'm reading right now.
Cool.
Dana, what are you reading?
I am reading a Wendell Berry collection of 5 stories. I haven't read Wendell Berry in a long time, and a friend said, I just got this book. It's a collection of 5 of his short stories. 3 of them are really short. 2 are like 60, 80 pages each. And I'm just reminded why I love Wendell Berry. I mean, this is wonderful. It's a fantastic collection. So fidelity. But I also have to tell y'all about a book I just finished yesterday called A Knock at the Door by a man named Rob Parsons, and it's nonfiction. He and his wife live in England, in London, and their kids, they raise their kids there. Their kids are now grown and everything. But one Christmas Eve, they heard a knock at the door, and it was someone he remembered from his childhood. A man who had some learning disabilities and challenges, and he grew up in care, which is like the British term for in orphanages, basically, in Britain. And at that point, he was in his early 20s, and he had nowhere to go. Like here, when you grow up in foster care or something, when you're 18, you're just let loose on the world. And unless you have a foster family that takes an interest and helps you, you're just on your own. And so this guy was, and they invited him to spend the night, and then they invited him to stay through Christmas. And 35, 40 years later, he was still living with them.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. That sounds interesting.
Yeah, that sounds good.
It's a fascinating story. It was so good, so well written, and just make sure you have your tissues.
Okay. I saw that on Goodreads. I was like, what is that when you rated it?
So good. And it's not a big, long book. It's an easy, pretty quick read. I was blown away by how, because the guy who wrote the book started off, his teachers in school always said, you could have done better. This is not good work, doesn't show promise. They said that about this guy who has written this book. And he's gone on to do brilliant things, and he's a fantastic writer.
What is a teacher?
Yeah, I was a teacher now. So highly recommend A Knock at the Door.
Very cool. So I'm going to talk about 2 also then. I'm reading not one of my little books. This one's a big one, actually. It's a historical fiction called Mariana by Susanna Kersley, and it's a time travel novel, which I love so much. So Julia lives in modern day, and she purchases this old sprawling house in England that she saw for the first time when she was 5 years old, and goes, that's my house. And then she saw it again in her early 20s, and she was like, oh my gosh, I just love this house so much. And then fast forward until she's in her 30s, and she has an opportunity to buy it. So she's loved this house forever. So when she gets there and she gets in her furniture and all that stuff, she ends up there's a portal, and so she goes into the past, I think in like the 1500s or something. And when she's there, it's such an interesting twist on time travel, because she becomes Mariana. She's not Julia from the future trying to figure it out. She's literally Mariana, and so she's her person, her uncle, and it's almost as if her reincarnated selves are meeting each other. And so when she's Mariana, she doesn't know about Julia, but when she's Julia, she remembers being Mariana.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God. I am loving it. But
you and your weird time travel stuff.
Oh, I loved it. Time travel is my favorite trope ever. You should write one. But the one I just finished is newly released The Unicorn Hunters by Catherine Arden, and this is an historical fantasy fiction. and I've never seen anybody do this the way that she does this. It's the story of Anne of Brittany, who was the Duchess of Brittany in France, and she ends up in real life having to marry Charles, so that because France they pretty much threatened her, and so she does a proxy marriage. This is all real. She does a proxy marriage to the King of Austria or something, but Charles doesn't care, takes her anyway. So Catherine Arden reimagines this as if Anne of Brittany could change her fate, and makes it a fantasy story with unicorns and shadow worlds, and it's amazing. So The Unicorn Hunters by Catherine Arden, I highly recommend.
I saw you. Yeah, I think I saw you put that one in there.
Yeah, I did too.
That's pretty brand new too. I think that's
it's 2026.
Yeah, I thought I saw that on the new release one.
It's so good. So good.
Oh, very nice. Well, we'll be back next week, guys. We'll talk about Hell Comes to Texas, The Hand of the Devil. We'll talk about my trading card game that is coming up that we're working on. And Amber got to play a little bit of the beta test, so we'll get some words from her. I know what she already wrote down and told me in her McTier words.
Never do this again. That's not what I said.
No. And then we'll talk more about the Ballad of Jesse Crow, which is very soon. Very soon. It's almost in my hands. That's how soon it's going to be.
Nice.
We're just doing last minute tweaks. But overall, it is ready. I mean, it's 99% ready to go. We're just doing some last minute tweaks that I still have problems with spelling on things. No,
Grammarly.
Grammarly. I use Grammarly. I do use Grammarly, but Grammarly likes to change all my country words. So I have to.
Yeah, I imagine. Yeah.
So we'll talk about that next week as well. So join us next week for Hell Comes to Texas, Hand of the Devil. I can't wait to hear what you guys really thought about it. And I will be breaking down some behind the scenes of book 3 and where we're going from this book. It's mapped out.
How many? How long's the series going to be? Is it
it was, and then some things happened in this book that made it turn into it's going at least be a quad. So there's some things that I feel like I didn't wrap, or not so much wrapped up, but I introduced somebody that needs some more splaining to do.
Cool.
So we're going into a quad. I think we'll go into a quad, and then from the quadrilogy, we'll go into present day, or present time, and we're working on Chad Windsor. And Chad Windsor will be a descendant of Colt. So that might tell you some things that might spoil a little bit of some of the quadrilogy. But
so we know he doesn't die because he procreates.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, that doesn't necessarily mean he doesn't die.
Well, he's going to make it a while.
He's going to make it a while.
Because at the moment, he's not dating nobody.
He's not dating nobody. And that would be one of the questions I ask you. And if you caught that in the book next week. Till then, thank you guys for coming out. This was great. I'm glad we read this book. It was fun. It was a very fun book. And can't wait to see. We're like I said, we've got Legends of the Fall next month. Pick it up at the local bookstore. Excited to read it. Read it with us. Come back. Tell us what you thought about it as well. And we'll see you next Sunday.
Bye.
Night.
If you missed the live viewing of any Meg production, you can find all our content on Roku or as a member of this channel. Madness Entertainment Group.